Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia and today's episode is inspired by a passage in the Pivot Year by Brianna Wiest. So I will read that to you now. Day 295. You have been willing to see so much divinity in beings who have not shown you grace or goodness, and yet you have not given yourself the chance to fall in love with yourself. You have not opened up to the possibility that all the godliness you could perceive within another mortal being was perhaps a reflection of who you are and not them. You have not really sat with that idea, that your love could make someone seem so much more vivid, so much more possible than they are. You have not really considered what it might do to your life if you became the object of your own affection, if you offered yourself your own love. This really got me thinking about how I show up for myself and how I show myself love. I love the people in my life so much, and I know that they feel that love. But what if I showed that same love to myself? What if I gave myself the same care, attention, and compassion that I pour into others? I truly think it would change my life. I am definitely kinder to myself and have more self-love than I used to, but I could definitely give myself more. And I know so many of you can relate. We rarely offer the same love that we give to others to ourselves. And the truth is, we attract what we think we deserve. If you don't see your own worth, you'll never attract what you truly desire. So today I want to really dive into this idea. How can we start showing ourselves the same love that we so freely give to others? What does that actually look like in our day-to-day lives? How do we know when we're not giving ourselves enough love? And how can we start to shift that so we can begin attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that match our worth instead of our wounds? I think we hear the term self-love so often that it's kind of lost its depth. We associate it with taking a bath, doing a face mask, or saying affirmations in the mirror. And while all those things can absolutely be part of it, true self-love runs so much deeper. To me, self-love is about how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. It's about keeping promises to yourself, setting boundaries even when it's uncomfortable, and forgiving yourself for your past. It's choosing yourself, and not in a selfish way, but in a self-respecting way. It's also about recognizing your own worth before anyone else does. Because the truth is, no one can convince you that you're worthy if you don't believe it first. And when you truly start to see yourself that way, as someone deserving of good things, your whole energy changes. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you, and instead you start attracting things that match that energy. The things I was attracting while I was at my lowest versus what I attract now that I respect and love myself more are drastically different. And I know self-love sounds beautiful in theory, but in real life, it can show up in subtle ways that we don't always recognize. So I want to share a few signs that might mean you're not fully showing up for yourself the way you deserve to. The first one is that you idolize others and forget your own worth. It's okay to look up to people, but they shouldn't be placed on a pedestal. It's just as important to acknowledge your own strengths and good qualities. If you're constantly focused on how amazing other people are, but never recognize that in yourself, you're not giving yourself the love that you deserve. Number 2, you downplay compliments or achievements. I sometimes do this because a lot of attention makes me uncomfortable. But I also still celebrate those wins either privately or just with close people. I am proud of myself for my accomplishments. But if you're not recognizing the things you achieved and you're just saying it's not a big deal, again, you're not showing up for yourself. You deserve to get those compliments and celebrate those wins, no matter how big or small. Number 3, you keep trying to earn love instead of receiving it freely. So many of us fall into people-pleasing patterns, saying yes when we mean no, over giving or molding ourselves to be liked. But real love doesn't need to be earned. The right people will love you for who you are, not what you do for them. And this not only goes for romantic relationships, but all your relationships in your life. And number 4, you chase emotionally unavailable or toxic people. This often happens when deep down you don't feel worthy of healthy, reciprocal love. I've been there too. When I wasn't loving myself, I was attracting people who reflected that lack of love back to me. But when I decided enough was enough and started deeply working on myself, I began attracting much better people and experiences into my life. I want to dive deeper into that, what self-love truly is, because it's so much more than the little acts we do. It's how we speak to ourselves, how we show up for ourselves, and what we believe that we deserve. Self-love gives you peace and security instead of anxiety and comparison. You aren't worried about what others are thinking of you or thinking about how much better someone else is than you. Your thoughts make you feel calm and secure. It also helps you feel grounded. You stop searching for that validation and instead look inward. It will give you a sense of ease because you're no longer chasing love, but you're radiating love and confidence. People can feel that energy coming off of you. And because of this energy, you start attracting people and experiences that meet you where you are, not where you used to be. So this all sounds great, right? But how can we actually develop more self-love? The first step is to increase your awareness. Notice when you're putting others on a pedestal, when you're talking about yourself negatively, or not taking those compliments. This can be as simple as noticing it in your thoughts and writing it down when you notice it comes up. You could also ask a friend or partner to gently call you out when you're talking negatively about yourself. You could be doing it a lot more than you even realize. Step 2 is to reclaim your reflection. You know when you meet someone and you're just in awe of them, their kindness, their confidence, creativity, or just the way they carry themselves? It's so easy to think, wow, I wish I could be like that. But the truth is, the only reason you're even able to recognize that beauty in them is because it already exists within you. The things that light you up in others are actually mirrors, reflecting back the parts of yourself that are either already there or waiting to be awakened. You couldn't see their grace if you didn't already understand grace. You couldn't recognize their light if you didn't already have that same light inside you. So instead of putting others on a pedestal, try to see them as reflections of who you are and what you are capable of. Reclaim that reflection. Remind yourself that the love, warmth, and goodness you see out in the world is also who you are. Step 3 is to complete acts of self-devotion. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Let yourself rest, nourish your body, and speak kindly to yourself. Again, it's not about face masks and bubble baths. It's about a daily commitment to being kind to yourself. Listen to your body and respect it. Give yourself grace when you're having a bad day. These little shifts will make all the difference. And step number 4 is energetic alignment. Practice feeling deserving before you receive. One of the biggest shifts in self-love and manifestation is learning to feel deserving before anything even shows up. We're often taught that we'll finally feel worthy once we get the thing we want, the relationship, the job, the body, the success. But it actually works the other way around. The energy you lead with sets the tone for what you attract. If you're moving through life with the belief that you're not enough yet, that you still have to prove yourself or earn love, that energy creates resistance. You might be asking for something beautiful, but deep down, you're sending out the message of, I don't really believe I can have this. Energetic alignment is about shifting that. It's choosing to feel the emotions of having what you want before it arrives. It's believing you deserve good things now, not when you're more successful, healed, or perfect. So ask yourself, what would it feel like to already have it? To already be that version of me who's loved, confident, and at peace. And then start embodying that energy today. Because when your energy matches what you're calling in, the universe has no choice but to meet you there. And that's really what the law of attraction is about. It's not forcing or chasing, it's aligning. The universe responds to how you feel about yourself, not just what you say you want. If your energy says, I'm not enough, that's what you'll attract. But when you love yourself, your vibration rises and you naturally attract what's meant for you. I want you to really remember this quote from Brianna Wiest. Imagine if you became the object of your own affection. If you gave yourself that love that you give to others, it would completely transform your life, and you deserve that. I want to leave you with some journal prompts. I recommend you do this now and not wait until later when you'll forget. But if you can't do it now, screenshot the timestamp of this episode and come back to it later. The first one is, where in my life am I still withholding love from myself? And the second one, if I truly believed I was worthy, what would I allow in? Remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve. So start believing you deserve it all and watch what happens. That is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, I would be so grateful if you would rate, review, follow, or subscribe to this podcast and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. If you have any questions or want to suggest future topic ideas, you can message me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod or use the anonymous link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.